Howdy, I'm Bob Terry. Welcome to the Forsaken Westerns. Up next, we have an episode out of a series that's almost been completely lost and almost completely forgotten. The title of the series is Boots and Saddles. The title of this episode is The Obsession. And it guest stars Wright King, and there's a very early appearance by Johnny Western, the composer of the Have Gun Will Travel theme song. Well, this series stars John Picard, and it's brought to you here on the Forsaken Westerns. Sit back, relax, kick your boots up, and enjoy this. And we'll see you after the show.
It was a lonely land then, the vast frontier, held by the last scattered remnants of the once great armies that fought the Civil War. To such as these, all but forgotten, doing a dirty, thankless job without reward or glory, the Army was a way of life, the only one they knew or wanted.
Tail, Lieutenant, but nobody would know that from today. Captain, you ever reveal a position again to Apaches like you did, and you're going to cost us a lot of men.
Couldn't be helped, Captain.
Why? You had your orders.
I also had a couple of eager men, Kendall and Tryon.
Hagen, save your breath. I saw the action from above your position. Mistakes allowable, Lieutenant. They're blaming it on the men. That's all.
There's a man in a real hurry.
Yeah, you think fighting Apaches would take out some of that steam. But he's a real goer, old Kendall is. Wouldn't you say old Kendall's a goer, Benedict?
If I was going where he is, figure I'd be pouring it on, too.
Well, all right, all right.
You know something, Kendall? The way I see it, you ride too straight up in the saddle out there. Gotta crouch over a little more.
I've been doing all right.
Sure, but you're just a growing boy. You wouldn't want the Apaches to take your scalp, now would you?
Ain't come off yet.
But suppose it does. Why, old man Russell's daughter wouldn't be able to run her fingers through that hair.
It's enough, Benedict.
Just looking out for one of our own is all. Enlisted men gotta stick together, Kendall.
Remembering that might save you a peck of grease. What's that supposed to mean?
Oh, come on, Benedict, forget it.
Don't handle me, kid.
You got something to say it right out.
Sure. Laura Russell. It's a real pretty gal, Kendall. Her father's a colonel.
You mean ain't said nothing yet.
The way you clenching them fists says I have. Ah, come on, kid, grow up. You're an enlisted man. How much chance you think you got with a gal like that?
It's my business.
No need to get riled. Little hand-holding, little moonlight kiss never hurt nobody. Get it while you can. But she's teasing you.
Did the Apaches give us a little action? You've got to provide your own. Well, I've some fine, dirty duties to perform if either one of you have got any excess energy. That's what I thought. So let there be no more of it. Do you hear? Now get back to work. All of you!
Kendall.
Give it up, Paul. It's no good.
If it were just her uncle, well, he's a doctor, and that sort of doesn't count. But her father...
Brett, you've been on both sides of the fence. Why should it matter so much just because her father's a colonel? People are still people.
Not in the Army, they're not. Look, Paul, when I was at the point, Captain Adams was my best friend. I don't know whether it's been tougher on him or me. But we're Army, and we accept it the way it is.
If you hadn't fought for the South, you might be commanding officer of this outfit. You're still the same man, one way or the other.
I could try to explain it to you. There are good enough reasons for it. But you wouldn't be able to understand. Just take it that it's always been that way. Give it up, Paul.
Satisfactory patrol then, Adams?
I would say so, sir. We discouraged them a bit. About 10 Apaches won't do any more raiding.
Large raiding party, Adams?
Pretty good size, sir. We would have gotten more except for a little bad luck. We revealed a cover position too soon. Probably cost us a few of them.
Probably. Might keep things quiet for a while, all the same.
Will that be all, Colonel?
Yes, Captain. But see that no more positions are revealed on patrol.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Shane. The old man asked you about that mistake of Hagen's?
How many times do I have to tell you not to refer to the regimental commanding officer as the old man? You're too green to be so familiar. How'd you learn about Hagen?
Heard some of the men talking about it. Sure was a whopper, huh?
Ed, sometimes I think you're hopeless. Eavesdropping on enlisted men. Things sure must have changed at the point since I was there. They don't seem to be building any character in the second lieutenants these days.
Never mind that. Did you cover up for him?
Well, let's just say as the officer commanding the patrol, I didn't find it necessary to go into that much detail. Besides, the responsibility was mine all the way. I don't hold with passing the buck, Lieutenant. Remember that.
Shank, sometimes I don't understand you.
You'll learn, Ed. Maybe in 5 or 6 years, you'll be able to take a patrol out and bring it back without getting yourself lost.
You're so quiet tonight.
Sorry.
Paul, what is it?
Nothing.
That fight, now, what was it about?
What'd you hear about that?
The whole post knew about it 10 minutes after it happened. You didn't think it would remain a secret, did you?
Laura? Do you love me?
You make it sound like an inquisition.
I want an answer straight out.
Paul, you rush so. We're young. There's so far to go.
You're right. You knew. Why don't you say what you mean? That I'm an enlisted man.
Oh, Paul.
Should have told me, Laura. Long time ago.
Private Kendall.
Yes, sir.
May I suggest you confine your attentions to persons more befitting your rank and station? You understand me?
I believe that's a personal matter, sir.
Soldier, I'm giving you a direct order. If I catch you talking to Miss Russell again, I'll throw the book at you. Dismissed. Aren't you forgetting something? Took long enough. Disrespect toward an officer, Kendall? Seems you're no better soldier on the post than you are in the field.
I made no mistake in the field, which is more than the lieutenant can say.
That will be all, Kendall.
Sir, Private Kendall requests permission to see the captain.
Send him in, Sergeant.
Right, sir. Come in.
At ease. What can I do for you, Kendall?
Sir, I'd like to apply for a transfer.
Any place in particular?
No, sir. It's just that I feel that I could be more value to the 5th or any other regiment if I was stationed someplace other than Fort Lowell. I don't want to trouble the captain.
It's all right, Kendall. I understand.
Thank you, sir.
Have you ever thought about going to college?
Thought a good deal about it, sir.
How would you like to go to West Point?
West Point?
Any man within a certain age limit, regardless of rank or experience, may send in an application, if approved by his commanding officer.
It's just never occurred to me, sir. I don't have the background. I mean, I have no formal education.
The examination will determine whether you have enough education to pass. The question is, would you like the opportunity?
Well, it isn't that, sir. I wouldn't even know how many peas to put on a knife.
West Point will take care of that. Make you not only an officer, but a gentleman, with an act of Congress to back you up. On paper. Think it over, Kendall. Let me know what you decide.
Yes, sir. I will, sir.
That's all.
What's this nonsense about enlisted men going to the point?
You'll find it in that stack of bulletins came from Washington about a week ago. Hey, son?
As you were. Captain, I suggest you change the Bluff Outpost command from a week to 3 days.
Yes, sir. I'll attend to it.
I can't believe it.
I've just been telling the lieutenant about the president's new orders regarding West Point.
Some surprise.
Came as a surprise to me, too, Mr. Hagan. I can't say I agree with it.
Agree with it, sir. Enlisted men attending West Point? I don't know what they can be thinking of.
I can see no necessity of sending enlisted men to the point. We need good men as both officers and enlisted men. But there's a difference, you know.
Yes, sir, there is a difference. Men with generations of military service in back of them. The correct family environment, they become the officers. The rule of command is not one to be given indiscriminately. Sir, I believe this violates a basic rule of military organization.
You're very possibly right. In any case, Lieutenant, the next few years will determine the success or failure of the measure.
With the colonel's permission, I've encouraged a man in my company to make application.
Who's that?
Private Kendall, sir.
Oh, yes, I remember his conduct at Iron Bridge. Very cool, level-headed young man.
There's no question in my mind that this program will turn out to be most unsatisfactory. I hate to think of the 5th as being a party to it.
That's enough, Lieutenant. The President of the United States has requested action along these lines. And if Captain Adams feels he has a man qualified, we will comply with the directive. As a matter of fact, I find it most unfortunate that an officer of your rank and station should permit himself to become so violently critical of the Commander-in-Chief.
Yes, sir. But the man in question is under my command. I feel him lacking in every qualification.
I consider that a matter more appropriately resolved between you and the captain. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
You give that boy an even break, Hagen.
I'll give that boy the treatment he deserves. And only that.
Why, it's hard to believe.
Captain Adams says it's a presidential order.
You telling us you're going to West Point?
Well, I just might have the chance.
Some chance you'll have, kid. They're going to pick anybody to be an officer. They pick a man. It's that experience.
Like you?
No, not like me and not like you either, Reb. You think you're any different than anybody else?
Now, look. Everyone knows the good Lord made officers to collect all the gold and glory, then threw us enlisted men in to do all the work.
During the war between the states, us volunteers elected our officers. And if we didn't like them, we deselected them. This free country, give it a try.
You want to try giving me orders, you runny-nosed recruit?
Shut up, Benedict. Officers are born, not made. Don't make a mistake and wind up by breaking your heart, son.
I think you can do it, Paul.
I don't know, Brett, but I'm sure going to give it a try.
Go ahead, kid, try it. Then crawl back here with your tail between your legs like a whipped dog. Enlisted men going to West Point? I don't know what the Army's coming to.
I've got $20, says you can do it. Any takers?
The colonel will approve your application on my recommendation, but I must first have Lieutenant Hagen's endorsement.
Lieutenant Hagen? The lieutenant hates me, sir. He'll never approve that application. I'm qualified. The captain said so himself.
Kendall, Lieutenant Hagen is an officer of this regiment. Neither you nor I have any right to assume he is unable to discharge his obligations without regard to his personal feelings. Now, this is one of the things that you'll have to learn if you're going to be an officer yourself. Don't worry. You can make it.
Yes, sir. I'll try my best.
Hagen, I want you to take the outpost detail tomorrow.
It's corporal's duty, sir.
Not tomorrow, it isn't. The scouts told the old man there's some movement going on up north. He wants an officer out there.
Why can't Ed take it? I rank him.
Yeah.
He hasn't had enough experience yet, and besides...
Oh, Shank.
That's enough, Lieutenant. Besides, I want you up there, Hagen. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Incidentally, I'd appreciate it if you'd settle the question of Private Kendall's application for West Point. If he's going to qualify for entrance this year, papers will have to go through next week.
I think I'll take him on Outpost. Maybe I can resolve it up there.
Why don't you just forget it, Hagen? You're making too much out of this thing.
Yes, sir.
Shank, if you send the kid up there with him, there's going to be trouble. Now, look. Why don't you transfer Kendall to my platoon? That'd solve everything, wouldn't it? If he's dumb enough to want to be a second lieutenant, it's okay with me.
We don't do things that way in the 5th, Ed. It's Hagen's problem. If you'll think about it a little, you'll realize it isn't only Private Kendall's career that's at stake.
Davis, hurry.
Take your turn on the back slope this morning. Yes, sir.
Be alert.
Yes.
Police the camp.
Yes, sir.
Well, looks like a little good news for the colonel anyway. Apaches kind of made themselves scarce. Tom, take a look up near the outpost and then catch up with us.
Lieutenant, may I say something?
What is it, Kendall?
Well, I know how the lieutenant feels about me, and I don't want to ask for any favors.
Go on, Kendall.
Sir, you must know what going to West Point would mean to me. Won't you give me the chance, sir? All you have to do is approve my papers.
How do you explain this, Kendall? Striking an officer.
Sir.
Interfering with him during an action. Preventing his attack upon an enemy.
That was no enemy. That was Navajo Tom.
You're intimating that I fired on one of our own men? Is that how you hope to get my approval for West Point?
It was Navajo Tom. You don't understand.
I understand this. Striking an officer is an offense calling for court-martial. And lying about it makes it that much worse. Sentry, next time, keep your eyes open and stay alert.
Yes, sir. Captain?
Lieutenant, I want to speak with you.
Post.
You sure you want to press this court-martial?
Yes?
Serious charge striking an officer.
I'm aware of that, sir.
Kendall has a fine record. This won't help.
Is the captain telling me not to press the charge?
You know better than that. Wanted to give you a chance to think before I take it up with the colonel.
I have thought, sir. When an enlisted man performs an act of insubordination, such as strike...
You've made your point, Hagen.
Yes, sir.
Good luck, Sergeant.
Right by twos. Hurt.
Oh, Brett. What happened out there, Britt?
I don't know, Shank. Hagen had me and Curry covering the back slope. When we got back, whatever happened was all over. And Hagen was saying the kid was under arrest. I don't like it one bit.
Neither do I. Doesn't seem to be anything I can do.
Well, take care, Shank.
Take care of yourself, Britt.
Evening, Shank.
Evening, Luke.
Thought you were out on a scout for the old man. Step back. Here, young Kendall got himself some trouble.
That's right. Lieutenant Hagen put him under arrest.
That's so. Shank, you know it's again my nature to mix in Army business. But it just happens me and my boys were up that way yesterday. Knowing how much you think of the kid, I figured you might like to hear a sort of eyewitness account of what really happened. Kind of informal-like.
I'd be much obliged to you, Luke. Much obliged.
Well, seems that Navajo Tom...
It's your decision, Hagen.
He did strike me, sir.
The witness doesn't deny it.
Then, Captain?
If Kendall hadn't have hit you, you would have killed one of our own scouts.
I'd like to drop the charge, sir.
Are you sure? I don't want you influenced.
It's my own idea, Captain. May I request that the charge be dropped, sir?
Todd. Don't you want to approve Kendall's application for the point? You know he's qualified.
Yes, Shank, I do. I really do.
Oh, Paul, I'm proud. I'm real proud.
But not in love. Isn't that it, Laura?
When did you know?
I've known it for a long time. I guess I just didn't want to believe.
I couldn't tell you then. Not before this. Don't you see why, Paul? You'd have convinced yourself it was because you were enlisted.
I guess I was just a kid.
No, a man. And every man needs a reason to rise above himself.
Even if the reason isn't really there?
As long as he thinks it's there. Goodbye.
I'm very grateful, Laura.
Wasn't that a great episode of a classic Western television series? What a shame that all these episodes aren't available for viewing. Thank you for joining us here on the Forsaken Westerns. My name's Bob Terry. We hope you'll join us again here next time. Have a great day.